What's up, everybody? This is Marcus McDuffie. I am the host of the Live, Love, Lift podcast and the owner of Aion Training, Pasadena's only personal training gym for people over 40. And today on the podcast, I want to talk about the idea of weight loss making you happier, right? So we get a lot of consults at Aion, and a lot of the consults are like for new members, and they come in, and a lot of them want to lose weight. They want weight loss, they want fat loss, and for a lot of them, it's because they are unhappy with where they currently are, right? They've gained a lot of weight. They don't feel like themselves. They found it harder to go out in social situations. And there's this feeling of like just unhappiness with what their current situation is. And a lot of them want to lose the weight. So they come in, they're like, all right, what's your goal? And they start talking. It's like, oh man, like I want to lose weight, or I want to get back down to 140. Why 140? That's what I weighed in college. All right. Whatever it is, right? And then I ask him the next question, which is a very important one, which is, why is that important to you? Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to work out? Why does any of this even matter to you? And for a lot of people, it's because they're just unhappy with where they are currently, which is okay. It is completely fine to be unhappy with where you are currently. That's totally normal. But the problem is when you think that doing A is going to make you happier, right? Whether that be, losing weight, losing fat, starting some new routine, whatever it is, right? When you feel like some outcome is going to make you happier, that's when it becomes a problem, right? And the reason this becomes a problem is because for a lot of people, they, when their happiness, right? Because as humans, we want to be comfortable. We want to be happy. It's just like naturally built into us. So the problem is when that want for happiness creates what I call a pressure cooker, right? A pressure cooker of stress, where when everything is going really well, it's awesome. It's cool because I'm losing weight. Wow, I'm stepping on the scale and it makes me really happy. The number is going down. Hooray, hooray. But when inevitably, because that's how your fitness journey should look, it should not be a straight line down. It should be down, and then you go on vacation, and then down, and then you have this other thing, and down, and then a life situation comes up, right? It's not going to be linear. So when people face one of these inevitable, right, little colors back up, there's a sense of sadness. There's more pressure. There's more fear. There's more anxiety around, oh my God, will I ever get to XYZ weight? AKA, will I ever be happy? Right? And that is where the problem lies. Because when we tie this thing to being happy, instead of having acceptance for where we are right now, it makes it a lot harder than it needs to be, right? So right now I'm reading two books. One is The Illusion of Money. The other one is called How to Be an Imperfectionist. And two of these things are things I struggle a lot with, right? I grew up in a family where we had like a decent amount of money, right? Where we were never really wanting for our basic needs, but it was still a source of stress, and now today I've been for the last 5-6 years now, been working through it, but it still comes up. And The Illusion of Money, it talks about how a lot of people want money because they feel like when they have more money, they'll be happier, right? And that's not actually how it works. But also, as long as you're held on to this belief that having more money is going to make you happier, the harder it is to do the things and be creative and put yourself out there in order to be actually happier and get more money as a result, right? So that's the first one. The second one is How to Be an Imperfectionist. And in that book, it talks about how perfection is just tied to this sense of fear of you're not enough and you won't be enough. And when people once again, when they tie their happiness or their, emotional state to this outcome, it takes this thing that really isn't that big. Showing up for a workout is not a big deal, right? It is not a big deal to show up for a workout at all. Now, what is a big deal is to go, hey, I'm showing up for this thing that eventually is going to make me feel better and be happy and solve all my problems. And I'll be able to go on dates and I'll be able to wear all my cool clothes that I haven't been able to wear before COVID. That is what makes it stressful. So then when you miss a workout because life happens, it no longer is, okay, I'll be back in on Thursday. It's, oh my God, I let myself down. Oh man, will I ever get to where I want to be? I'll never get back to 140 like I was in college. Which also, let that go. Stop holding on to college weight. It doesn't help you. But let's back up and let's talk about some things that that actually will make you happier. And as a result, if weight loss is your goal or any type of body change, will make that thing easier, right? So the first one is these are things to do instead of trying to like get happiness out of weight loss. The first one is to accept that, hey, like me taking care of myself, which is a big piece of exercise. You are stepping back from work, from taking care of your kids, from whatever else is calling you, and you're saying, hey, I am important. I deserve to take care of myself. That's going to be the first one. That is going to be one of the biggest ones because that is a statement, right? That is a big statement of, hey, I am important. I deserve to take care of me. I deserve to prioritize me. And a lot of people don't feel that. So when you start a workout routine, you're, oh my God, your body's like, wow, we are, if they're taking care of us, we must be pretty good, right? And because of that, you feel happier. The second one is, and I believe this has been referred to as like blissful discontentment, which is accepting where I am right now, which means, like today I had a call with my finance coach and we're going over like the next steps for me. And I was anxious as fuck. I was so anxious. My whole morning, I woke up at about 7 a.m. From 7 a.m. until our call at 11:15, I'm like trying to get these things done and there's fear coming up and I'm procrastinating and all these things are happening. And then after the call, like I thought about it, I was like, oh, I'm okay. This is just literally part of my journey. This is where I'm at right now. I can't compare myself to someone else in their journey because they didn't grow up with what I grew up with. And it's the exact same thing for all of you in fitness, right? So you just have to have acceptance where you are currently and say, hey, I still struggle with emotional eating and snacking. I still struggle with binging sometimes. I struggle to go to the gym because I'm afraid and I don't know what to do. And that's where I'm at right now. And then the next step is to just show up. The thing that Aion is all about. Hey, just show up. Don't worry about the outcome. Just show up. Accept where you are. Accept where you struggle. And then just show up for yourself. Once again, going to that first one. Taking care of yourself. Me showing up for that call with my finance coach, even though I was anxious as shit all morning, is a form of me taking care of myself and me saying, hey, I'm important, so I'm going to do this thing. I am important to me, so I'm going to do this thing, right? And the last one is to let go of guilt and shame around when you falter on weight loss. So for a lot of members, when they start up, I will tell them they're not allowed to weigh themselves, right? I've had people, no joke, I have had people send me a picture of their scale with the batteries out, right? And I do this because I've seen it way too many times where, Miss Jones is coming in and Miss Jones is absolutely kicking butt. She's showing up for workouts. She hasn't worked out in the last 10 years, but now she's working out. She's taking care of herself. She's smiling. She's doing well. And then all of a sudden you stop seeing her as much. And you start to wonder what happened. She was doing so well, right? And what happened was Miss Jones was kicking butt and her momentum was rising and she was feeling really good about herself for the first time in years. And then she stepped on the scale and she goes, oh, I've only lost 2 pounds. Maybe I'm not doing that well. I'm working so hard. It's all for nothing. Oh, then here comes the guilt and shame. I did have that cookie last night. Oh man, I did eat after, whatever arbitrary little crazy time people love to throw. Oh, you ate after 6 p.m. Like, no, it doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, but that guilt and shame comes in, and now all that momentum that Miss Jones or you have built up plummets into the floor. And when it plummets into the floor and you are no longer able to realize how amazing what you're doing is, how proud of yourself you should be for what you're doing, it gets really hard to do the thing, right? Because for a lot of our clients, they will never be like gym rats that go to like, Gold's Gym 5 days a week or any of that stuff. But they care about themselves. They want to feel good. They want to be here for their kids. They want to live a long, fulfilling life. And so they take care of themselves, right? It's not easy. So when they lose that thing that was pushing them, that momentum, that positivity, that pride, it is really fucking hard to show up. So what you have to do is say, hey, I only lost 2 pounds. It may not be where I want it to be, but like, hey, it's more than I did in the last year. It's probably the first year that I lost weight that I lost weight instead of gaining weight, right? And hey, it's a little bit slower, but the last 10 times I did it, I lost 15 pounds just to gain 20 back. I don't know if I want to do it like that anymore, right? So my whole thing with this is just to recap those three. You have to find happiness in the fact that you are taking care of yourself. You have to find happiness in the blissful discontentment of, hey, I accept where I am, right? I am not perfect. I may not even be totally happy with where I am right now, but I accept where I am. It's just what it is. It is reality. And then I can improve it. And then by improving it, you're like, oh, wow, huh. And the last one is to let go of the guilt and shame around you not being on this or it'll go either way, this linear line of progress, right? The journey is the destination. Every struggle you go through, every time that, you know, you having a day where you're doing a lot of emotional or stress eating, you binge eat, you let yourself skip the gym one day and you show back up. That's what this is all about, right? It's not supposed to be a straight line. It's not supposed to always be easy. But the journey and the gold and the actual gift of it all is that you go through these things and you say, I'm still going to show up. I'm going to get back up and I'm going to show up. And that's the actual goal. So just to sum it all up for this one, the big thing in there is once you let go of the idea that losing weight or losing fat or getting stronger or building muscle or, getting into that swimsuit bikini thing, I don't know, it's later in the summer, whatever it is, the faster you let go of that idea that that's going to make you happier, the easier it will be to have all of those things. I'm not saying you shouldn't want for those things. I'm not saying that they can't be goals, but you can expect those things to make you happier. And as you let go of that, the happier and easier it is to do all those things. It all becomes. So that's the episode for today. If you have any comments or any questions for anything, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'm going to do a little post at the end of these. I've been playing around with the tech, but just saying, hey, if you have any future ideas, would love to hear them, would love to cover them. I'm going to do probably a Q&A episode in the future where you all can just ask me questions and I'll cover them here on the podcast. But, this is just something that was really on my mind, really spoke to me after what I've been going through, as well as talking to these new members and my clients over and over and over. And just want to share it. So hopefully this helps someone out. And if you are looking for a fitness studio home, check us out at www.aiontraining.com. If you're a podcast listener, hook you up with the first week free of personal training here with us at Aion. And outside of that, if this helps you, feel free to share it with a buddy. Take care.